Well, let's get at it. Welcome back, everybody, to the Midgar Express, and we are talking more Dragonbane. We're going to talk about the rules. We're going to talk about the rules in multiple parts because I want to break it down, um, make it easy. Because first, I want to talk about the kin and profession. Any of you that are familiar with other TTRPGs, you're looking at your job class, your class, different TTRPGs have different names for what they call their jobs. And in this game, in Dragonbane, they call it profession. Most of the time, when you're selecting characters, you have different races, different species. In this game, in Dragonbane, they call it the kin. And this is actually a perfect example. Right here we have, as a lot of my friends and people who see this art, they call it the Darkwing Duck. I mean, just look at it. It's dope. You have and specifically in Dragonbane, they call it mallard because it is a form of duck. But I mean, just look at that. You've got this mallard with a cape on, large cloak, cape, cloak, whatever you want to call it, and they are dropping down from a height onto an enemy with two short swords in their hands. How cool is that? Well, let's get into it. So yeah, last episode, we talked about, or last couple episodes, we talked about the quick start rules. We talked about the Kickstarter itself, and what is Dragonbane. And over the next couple episodes, we're going to be talking about the rules. We're going to talk about it in increments because I don't want to bore you and just monologue to you for an hour about this is what you are supposed to be looking at. This is what this says. That is what that says. No, we're here to have fun. Okay. So, obviously we're already having fun talking about Darkwing Duck. Shout out to anybody who knows that reference. So, looking through the beginning of the rules book, it gives you the name. It gives you the lead designer, other writers who have contributed to this. We've got, all the stuff. We've got all the people that have put the work in. The play testers, especially the play testers, you got to play this over and over again. Actually, here in about 45 minutes, I know you won't know this, but I like to tell it anyways. I'm actually going to be playing in a small session. We're going to be testing out some new monsters. I've got some friends that are creating some stuff. I'm working on some stuff, and we're going to actually test those monsters kind of together to see how they work out. So yeah, contents. Chapter 1, in the oldest of times. Chapter 2, you got your player characters, your PCs. Chapter 3, you got skills. Chapter 4, we got combat damage. Chapter 5, we've got magic. Chapter 6, we've got gears. Chapter 7, we got the bestiary. In Chapter 8, we've got adventures. Now, it doesn't go over a lot within the rules book as far as, or the rules core book, as far as adventures, because there's a whole second book, and that book is all the adventures, and that's where the good stuff is. So, funny enough, they do have a preface, and this really goes to show who actually reads these parts of the book. For me, I'm one of those people that will read the book through and through because they really do offer small things of wisdom, of hilarity, just little fun facts. So take the time, pause this video, read the preface. I'm not gonna monologue that to you, not at this moment. So, in the oldest of times, It was in the oldest of times, before the world was covered in forest and iron was tamed by dwarven masters, before the advent of humanity and the mastery of the bread and ale making arts. Just so y'all know, I am in no way a trained voice actor. Just throwing that out there in case you didn't know yet. In case you didn't know. The world was then ruled by dragons and demons. Yes, draconic serpents and demonic creatures were the princes and princesses of the oldest times. They were the primordial forces through which the world and its primeval matter was formed. The sky, the mountains, and the fiery oceans of magma and unthinking life. There were opposing principles that made the world complete. Law and order versus chaos and madness. The stable and fixed verse, the wild and eternity fluid. Dragons versus demons. The most ancient records tell of a draconic empire that once spanned much the known world, where the emperor's peace was upheld by cruel dragon-mounted knights. But the text also contains traces of another great power from a different age, governed by demon princes who shrouded the world in madness and savage rage. Remnants of these realms still exist in the earth beneath our feet, in the depths of the great forests and the chasms of the mountains slumber memories from ancient eras when vicious beast reigned. The hostility between dragons and demons has brought death and ruin upon ancient civilizations and excuse me, it seems almost a fundamental law of nature has that anything created by dragons alone is corrupted by demons, and that anything born of demonic will is burned to ashes by dragon fire. However, this basic and incontrovertible truth also gives chase to hope. And for it was created the conditions for other nations, where humans and other races have been able to flourish and go on their own way. But the ancient guardians of order and destruction will never leave the world to its fate, as sure as night follows day. The time has come again when dragons and demons contend for power over humanity, nature, and the eternal mystery. So that's kind of the background in oldest times. There's a small blurb for the players. There's a small blurb for the game masters. Now, it talks a little bit about a couple things within the oldest times. It talks about rolling your dice, what kind of dice you would need, multiple dice, skill rolls, playing online. I run games of Dragonbane online. Hey, you know what? If you all are interested, and I'll put this out multiple times, but if you all are interested in playing a game that I'm running online, drop a comment. Let's drop a comment, and I'll invite you to my server on Discord, and we'll make some magic happen. Playing solo. So Dragonbane does have its own solo rules. Where's my book's over there. I actually plan on doing multiple solo runs within for you all. I plan on recording multiple solo runs for you all. Now, it's going to be a little difficult how I do that, but we'll talk about it at another time, because this video is not for solo running. Playing safely. There's what is a role-playing game? It gives you the abbreviations for what you need within the game, and it just tells you start playing. You know, decide who will be the game master. This guy right here. Have each player create a character. I have people create 2 because the game's a little deadly. Let the GM familiarize themselves with the rule book, of course, and then play the game. Welcome to the game, as Triple H would say. Measurements of time. Now this is kind of important. I'm still having to get used to this. A round is 10 seconds. A stretch is 15 minutes, and a shift is 6 hours. You can do as many rounds because it's combat mostly, but you can only stretch per shift per day. So let me say that again. One shift, or one, see, there I go. One stretch equals one shift per day. It's just like short rest, long rest. If you talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, you can only do one short rest per long rest, and you can only do one long rest per day. Just how it goes. Your player character, yes. Now, if you have no idea what you want to do, or if you're a chaotic player, like a lot of my friends, there are roll tables for everything. You can, if you look down here at the bottom of page 9, there's a roll table for what kin you should be. Now, looking at page 8, you have a human, you have an elf, and you have a dwarf. Very common. Those are the most common species, races. In this book specifically, kin. Those are the most popular ones through any TTRPG, whether you're talking about a low fantasy, classic fantasy, or high fantasy. That's pretty much the ones that you will always have. But in this one, we have halflings, mallards, and wolfkin. When I do my solo runs, or if I play in any games, I have yet to actually play in a game of Dragonbane, because I am what some would consider the forever GM. Right now, really, I'm the only one in my area that runs Dragonbane. I've got some friends online. I'm trying to coordinate with some of them to run a game or run in a game of Dragonbane, because just I want to fuck shit up. I want to. You know, it's just what I do. So yeah, kin, you can be human, halfling, dwarf, elf, or mallard. Now, language. Everybody knows the same language, but humans. So not only did I say and show you that there was a roll table for what kin you want, there's a roll table for example names. What? So humans are the last born, which means they are the most recent addition to the world that is the Misty Vales. Or the world that revolves around the Misty Vales for the moment. We don't actually have a name for the continent or a name for the world specifically. We just have the Misty Vales. Again, that's what takes place between the bottom mountain range, which is the Coomer Mountains, and the top, the north mountain range, which is the Dragonfang Peaks. So 150 kilometers in a circle, that's the Misty Vales, and that's what we have right here. So we've got humans, the last born. Other kin have sang songs and legends about the times before the dawn of humanity. Today, the humans have spread across most of the world. Many are peasants living in little villages clustered around castles and palaces. Others are warriors sworn to protect the peasants and vulnerable settlements markets, and trade caravans from the dangers of the world. Still, more are adventurers, fearless humans who venture into the unknowns in search of glory, gold, and knowledge. That's what humans do. Then we've got halflings. Um, and somebody had said this to me, and I feel this is pretty accurate. The halflings within Dragonbane are more Tolkien based, more of your Lord of the Rings style kind of halflings, which Tolkien talks about hobbits. Obviously, they couldn't use the word hobbit because that's copyright by, Tolkien. So, halfling it is. Halflings are short humanoids often found in hilly farmlands where they live in earthen dwellings with well-stocked larders. Yeah, larders. It's been a long day, y'all. Yeah, it's just been a long day. They are modest and amiable by nature, with a natural affinity for health and home. Halflings are neither warlike nor ambitious, but highly drawn to epic tales and beautiful songs from days long gone. From time to time, the desire that can lead them to leave the safety of their homes in search of grand adventures. Because of their vulnerability and fear of tall ones, meaning, I don't know, humans, elves, they are good at staying hidden and quickly getting out of critical situations. So again, there's a D6 roll table for just names. Snappy, Brine, Cotter, Bumble, Periwick, Feline. Now, they do each have abilities, and I skipped adaptive. I'm skipping hard to catch. We're going to talk about heroic abilities another episode. I'm not going into those right now. Dwarves. This is a small little fun fact for dwarves. Dwarves are the oldest of the elder folk, at least according to their own chronicles. So the elder folk, that's going to be your dwarves and your elves. They're the elder folk because they just live the longest and they've been around the longest. They are an immensely proud and traditional people whose culture is steeped in ancient customs and grandeur ballads of heroic ancestors. Dwarves feed a strange connection with the bedrock and the roots of the world. They are skilled blacksmiths and artisans, admired for their ability to craft wondrous items of perilous metal or precious metal, as well as of iron and stone. Dwarves are also known as fierce warriors, armed with axes, warhammers, and other heavy melee weapons forged in the underground smithies. So then again, another D6 table of just a name generator. So I think that's just fantastic that they do that. So now we have elves, mallard, and wolfkin. Excellent. Elves are an ancient kin that for eons, okay, this one says eons, have watched over the forests of the world. So it's safe to assume that they would have definitely seen all the kind of stuff that's been happening with the dragons and the demons. It's clear as day right there. They are guided by the stars, which they regard as divine beings capable of peering into the deepest mysteries. Elven culture is immediately introverted or meditatively introverted and sometimes difficult for outsiders to understand. However, it is clear that they are driven by other more metaphysical concerns, that the lust for gold and glory often found in dwarves and humans. Nonetheless, their kin includes many powerful warriors, widely respected and praised by the bards for their skill with both sword and bow. Mallards. Yes, let's talk about mallards. The origin of mallards is shrouded in mystery. Now, I like that they did that. I don't like they even with the elves, the dwarves, the humans, and the halflings, they don't give exact details. They leave room for mystery. Lots of mystery. They leave lots of room for it. And I love this. So it says some scholars claim that they came from a mighty island realm that was swallowed by the sea thousands of years ago. Others believe them to be the result of a failed magical experiment. Whatever the truth may be, these feathered humanoids are a common sight in the world. They have a knack for trade. Their agitated, quick quacking is often an integral part of the soundscape around marketplace and trade caravans. I can only imagine it'd be like, oh yeah, yeah, you want to take 10 for that? Quack, 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 quack. Like I just feel like that's what it would be. Anyways, however, some mallards seek their fortunes as brigards, pirates, or mercenaries. Brigands, that's what it is. Brigands, pirates, or mercenaries. Despite their diminutive size, they are fierce in battle and feared by many for their murderous rage. Ah, every mallard that's played in one of my games, every single duck person, they have used the ability ill-tempered. I just want to bring that up. I'm not going into the heroic abilities, but they have always, every single time used ill-tempered, and I love it. Wolfkin. Wolfkin are the untamed fury of the wilds. They may be highly intelligent creatures, and like the elves, they have an unfailing tendency to sink into thought, pondering the mysteries of the universe. But shimmering under the surface are ancient hunting instincts and an unquenchable anger over past wrongs committed against wolfkin, wolves, and the wilderness in general. So, if Dad ever hunted a wolf, they might come for you. um, as hunters and pathfinders, they are second to none. But wolfkin can also be found as heavily armored mercenaries or mythics or healers in human settlements. Okay, drop it in the comments. Which kin do you want to play first? Mallard or Wolfkin right here. All right, professions. We're gonna make this quick. We're gonna go through professions quick. Because again, these videos are gonna be, they have a little bit of length to them, but I want them to be quick. I want them to, not go into too much. You know what? Actually, let's do this. We're gonna cut it there. We talked about the kin, and that's what I want to know from you all. I want to know, which kin do you want to be? Do you want to be a mallard or do you want to be a wolfkin? Obviously, you've got six to pick from. Your humans, your halflings, your elves, your dwarves. But come on, everybody wants to play a mallard or a wolfkin. Okay, just let me know which one in the comments. So yeah, I leave you there. Live on and game on, my friends.